Hello. Today General Hospital will reveal exciting events in the next 2 weeks from August 25th to September 5th, 2025. First, in the week of August 25th to August 29th, Cody Bell finds himself grappling with a truth that he can no longer keep to himself. As the tension builds, he confides in Molly Lansing Davis, revealing a secret that could destroy everything they have built. Cody opens up about Christina Corinthos Davis's calculated attempt to seduce him, detailing the lengths Christina went to in order to manipulate him. This revelation comes at a crucial moment when Cody is already struggling to repair his fractured relationship with Molly. The weight of his confession lingers in the air, as Molly listens in stunned silence, torn between disbelief and hurt. The emotional fallout from this truth is far from over, and the damage may prove irreparable. In an attempt to salvage his connection with Molly, Cody reflects on his past decisions and what led him to this point. His mind replays the events that unfolded with Ava Jerome, the complicated web of lies and deceit that entwined them. Cody, with his usual brashness, now realizes how deeply his involvement with Ava has affected his present. While he attempts to smooth things over with Molly, a sense of guilt gnaws at him, knowing that the trust he built with her has been shattered by his own actions. Desperate for redemption, he turns to Dante Falconeri, seeking solace in their friendship, but even Dante's advice doesn't seem to ease his internal turmoil. As Cody pours his heart out to Dante, it becomes clear that he fears the damage may be irreversible. The weight of his confession about Christina, combined with his history with Ava, threatens to rip apart everything he has worked for with Molly. He wonders aloud if it's too late for him to regain her trust. Cody's anxiety is palpable as he anticipates Molly's reaction, knowing full well that this could be the moment that ends their relationship for good. His self-doubt intensifies as he grapples with the reality that his past actions may have sealed his fate, and the woman he once loved might no longer see him in the same light. Molly, meanwhile, is overwhelmed with anger and confusion. Her emotions clash as she pushes Christina for answers, demanding the truth behind the lies she has been fed. The sense of betrayal is evident in her voice as she confronts Christina about her role in the chaotic events that have unfolded. Molly's frustration reaches a boiling point, and she struggles to reconcile the woman she thought she knew with the manipulative figure who stands before her. The confrontation is charged with tension, and the future of Molly and Christina's relationship hangs in the balance. Molly's quest for answers has the potential to unravel more than just Christina's carefully constructed lies. As Molly presses Christina for answers, the facade begins to crumble. Christina, once so confident in her ability to control the narrative, finds herself cornered by the very people she's deceived. The truth about her involvement in the car accident is finally exposed, and the dark secrets she's been harboring come to light. The stakes rise higher as Molly realizes that Christina's web of lies extends far beyond their personal drama. The toll of Christina's actions on Alexis Davis is devastating, and the guilt of trying to protect her mother while hiding the truth weighs heavily on Christina's conscience. Will she finally come clean, or will she continue to conceal the shocking truth? Second, Alexis Davis is about to be thrown into a storm of anger and frustration when Drew Kane takes a drastic step by filing a legal order against her, preventing her from getting anywhere near their daughter, Scout Quartermaine. Alexis, already grappling with the disintegration of her family dynamics, is blindsided by Drew's decision. The order effectively bars her from having any contact with Scout, a blow that cuts deep for a mother whose heart has already been torn apart by past betrayals and heartache. Alexis cannot fathom the reasoning behind Drew's cold, calculated move and feels betrayed, believing that Drew, who once stood by her side, is now turning the entire world against her. This action will only serve to push her further into a corner, and her fury will inevitably spill over, leading to confrontation and heightened emotions. The legal decision will also bring Alexis to a boiling point because it isn't just about Scout. It's about her rights, her sense of control, and her identity as a mother. Alexis is no stranger to being at odds with those around her, but this feels different. Drew's action is one she never saw coming. As her world crumbles, Alexis will be forced to reckon with her past decisions, particularly her fractured relationship with Drew and the haunting specter of what could have been. She will attempt to find a way around the order, perhaps using legal maneuvers or emotional appeals, but the weight of Drew's calculated move will not be easy to shake off. Alexis's emotional state becomes fragile, and she's teetering on the edge of a complete breakdown, which could have lasting ramifications for everyone in her life, especially Scout. Meanwhile, Maxie Jones's health is about to take a sharp turn for the worse. The troubling news of her condition has left many around her in deep concern, particularly Lisa Lobrecht. As Maxie slips into a coma, the question of her survival becomes a pressing issue. The once vibrant Maxie, whose life was filled with love and drama, is now facing an uncertain future. Lisa, who has always been a fierce protector, is overwhelmed with the fear that Maxie may never wake up. The potential of Maxie falling into a long-term coma raises difficult questions about her treatment options, the possibility of recovery, and the emotional toll it will take on her loved ones. As Maxie remains unconscious, a series of tough decisions will need to be made about her long-term care. Who will step up to make these decisions? Will her family be able to put aside their personal emotions and agree on a course of action that best supports Maxie's future? Her medical care will need to be carefully considered, with the team of doctors facing challenges regarding the potential treatment options available. The emotional impact on Maxie's family, particularly on her mother, Felicia, and her friends like Britt and Jason, will be profound. Maxie's loved ones will face the unbearable reality of being forced to make life-altering decisions while struggling with their own fears of losing her forever. Over at the Five Poppies resort, Britt Westbourne continues to resist Jason Morgan's attempts to remove her from the compound. The tension between them remains palpable, as Britt realizes that Jason's intentions might not be as straightforward as he claims. Britt, who has always been cautious and shrewd, senses something is off about Jason's insistence on her leaving, especially considering the dangerous circumstances surrounding the resort. She's not easily swayed by his authoritative tone and begins to dig deeper, questioning his true motives. What is Jason really up to? Is he simply trying to protect her, or is there something darker behind his request? Britt's suspicions grow, and she will begin to challenge Jason's decisions, refusing to follow blindly. In the midst of the intrigue, Jason will soon realize that Jocelyn, Jax and Vaughn are in grave danger. Both are trapped in a perilous situation, one that could cost them their lives if not handled swiftly. As Jason pieces together the threat they face, his protective instincts kick into overdrive. The realization that Jocelyn, someone he cares deeply for, is in harm's way will force Jason to reconsider his priorities. However, with Britt's help, Jason may find a new direction. Britt, who has been increasingly wary of the situation at Five Poppies, may prove to be the one to guide Jason towards the right course of action. As the stakes get higher, the two will have to work together to ensure Jocelyn and Vaughn's survival. Third, back in Port Charles, Jack Brennan is about to be thrust into a whirlwind of emotional turmoil as he faces the most difficult situation of his life. His inner conflict is palpable as he struggles to maintain his composure, knowing that Jocelyn's life is in grave danger. Jack, who has always prided himself on being in control, now finds himself in a vulnerable position. The weight of the secret he carries is almost unbearable. Despite the overwhelming fear for Jocelyn's safety, Jack will do everything in his power to keep Carly Spencer in the dark, but it will be no easy task. Carly, known for her intuition and determination, will undoubtedly sense that something is wrong. However, Jack will try to cover up his distress, convincing Carly that everything is fine. Yet, as the situation escalates, it will become increasingly difficult for him to keep up the facade. The emotional strain will take a toll on Jack, and the cracks in his carefully constructed armor will begin to show. Carly, ever the protective mother, will start noticing Jack's increasingly erratic behavior. While she respects his ability to handle high-pressure situations, there's something about his recent actions that feels off. Carly's suspicions will grow, and it won't be long before she confronts Jack about his strange demeanor. The question will linger in the air: what is Jack hiding? Jack will have to decide how much to reveal, knowing that withholding the truth could cause even more harm in the long run. His dilemma becomes even more complicated as he grapples with the fear of losing Carly's trust. As the stakes get higher, Jack will be forced to confront the truth and the consequences of his silence. Meanwhile, Portia Robinson finds herself in the middle of a situation that shakes her to the core. Known for her level-headedness, Portia is usually the one who provides stability to those around her, but this time, she will be the one thrown off balance. Something will happen in Port Charles that she cannot ignore, and it will push her to make a choice that crosses a dangerous line. Portia's decision will have far-reaching implications, and the consequences will be felt throughout the town. Whether it involves witnessing a private moment between Jordan Ashford and Curtis Ashford or a complicated situation involving Drew, Portia will find herself tangled in a web of emotions and decisions that challenge her sense of morality and her role in the community. Her actions will set the stage for a dramatic shift in her relationships and the way she is perceived by those around her. The intimate moment between Jordan and Curtis will be a pivotal moment for Portia. As she witnesses their connection, she will experience a whirlwind of emotions, from jealousy to anger to confusion. Portia's feelings will be a complex mix of personal betrayal and professional turmoil, as she struggles to come to terms with her own emotions and the delicate balance she must maintain in her relationships. The situation will force her to confront her feelings for Curtis, who has always been a source of both comfort and conflict in her life. In that moment, Portia will face a choice: to bury her emotions and keep her distance, or to confront the truth of her feelings, no matter how painful. On the other hand, Drew will continue to be a source of chaos in Port Charles. While he may appear to be focused on his business dealings, there's more at play than meets the eye. Drew is on the brink of making a deal with Willow, one that could have far-reaching consequences. Willow, struggling with her own emotional turmoil, will be presented with an opportunity she cannot ignore. Drew's offer will be tempting. He will promise to help her see her children, a goal that has eluded Willow for so long. The prospect of reuniting with her children will weigh heavily on her mind, and Drew's offer will seem like the answer to her prayers. As Drew's plan unfolds, Willow will be forced to make a difficult decision. The idea of moving back in with Drew, of considering the possibility of reuniting with him for the sake of their family, will be a tough pill to swallow. She has been hurt by Drew in the past, and the idea of trusting him again will be fraught with uncertainty. But the desire to be with her children will overshadow her doubts. Willow will begin to seriously consider Drew's proposal, torn between the fear of repeating the mistakes of the past and the hope for a better future. Her decision will have profound implications for her and her family, as she grapples with the idea of forgiveness and the potential for reconciliation with Drew. Fourth, Trina Robinson is about to uncover a discovery that could change the course of events in Port Charles. As she digs deeper into the web of deceit surrounding Drew, Trina stumbles upon a significant piece of evidence. This discovery not only brings her closer to understanding the full extent of Drew's machinations but also sets the stage for her to approach Kai Taylor for help. Trina, driven by a desire for justice and the truth, realizes that with Kai's expertise and connections, she could take a pivotal step toward bringing down Drew. The bond between her and Kai, forged through shared experiences and mutual trust, will be tested as they work together to unravel Drew's influence. Trina's determination to expose Drew will push Kai to confront his own moral dilemmas, and he will ultimately agree to assist her in exposing the truth, even if it means taking significant personal risks. The question remains: will Trina's discovery provide the smoking gun needed to bring Drew to justice, or will it be another dead end? As the evidence Trina uncovers begins to piece together a clearer picture of Drew's actions, she realizes that her pursuit for justice could put her in the crosshairs of powerful enemies. With Kai's help, Trina will have the chance to strike at Drew's empire, potentially forcing him into a corner where he has no choice but to face the consequences of his past. However, both Trina and Kai will need to navigate dangerous waters as they try to outsmart Drew, whose own power and cunning will not be easily thwarted. This newfound alliance will create a volatile dynamic, as Trina's resolve and Kai's growing guilt clash with Drew's relentless pursuit of his goals. Meanwhile, Drew is making yet another bold move in his ongoing battle against Michael. As Drew continues to challenge Michael's authority, it's clear that he's not backing down. The tension between them is escalating, and Drew's latest maneuver will send shockwaves through the family, especially within the Quartermain household. Those who have been following the spoilers closely suggest that Drew's next move could spell disaster for Michael, creating more conflict and obstacles in their already strained relationship. Drew's persistence and his willingness to use any means necessary to get what he wants will make him a formidable opponent, and Michael will find himself on the defensive, struggling to keep his position secure. With every new move Drew makes, he will only intensify the power struggle within the family, leading to even more devastating consequences. As the drama unfolds, Marco Rios, who has been a guiding figure for many, offers some unexpected advice to Giovanni, Gio, Palmieri. Marco's insight into the complexities of family relationships helps Gio understand that connecting with his parents on a deeper level requires vulnerability and patience. Gio, who has always been cautious and guarded, begins to open up to the idea of building bridges with his parents. His willingness to listen to Marco's advice signals a potential shift in Joe's attitude toward family dynamics. This newfound openness will challenge Gio to step outside his comfort zone and engage with his parents in ways he never thought possible. As he begins to take Marco's advice to heart, Gio will find himself on a path toward healing old wounds and forging stronger connections with those he cares about. Dante Falconeri, always the peacemaker, will find himself in a unique position to connect with Gio. Understanding the importance of family and loyalty, Dante will make an effort to bridge the gap between Gio and his estranged parents. The relationship between them has always been one of mutual respect, and now, as Dante steps into a more supportive role, Gio may begin to let his guard down. However, the true question remains, what role will Brook Lynn Quartermain play in this equation? Brook Lynn, who has her own complex relationships within the Quartermain family, will have to navigate her feelings about Joe's changes. While she is undoubtedly supportive of his personal growth, the dynamics between her, Gio, and the rest of the Quartermain family could complicate matters further. Finally, Brook Lynn Quartermain might find herself hoping for a chance to reconnect with Gio Palmieri in the week of September 1st to September 5th, but the situation could become more complicated than she anticipated. The history between them is tangled with unresolved emotions, and even though Gio may be more open to reconciling, Brook Lynn's feelings are a complex web of longing, hurt, and uncertainty. Dante Falconeri, who only recently learned of Joe's existence, finds himself in the dark about the nuances of their relationship. Brook Lynn may feel a sense of duty to explain everything to Dante, but doing so could complicate her personal feelings toward Gio. She is still torn between her desire for a fresh start and the painful memories that Joe's past actions evoke. As the tension mounts, Brook Lynn will need to decide whether to open her heart again or move forward without looking back. The week ahead holds the potential for emotional confrontations and revelations that could shift the balance of Brook Lynn's world. While Brook Lynn wrestles with her emotions, Gio continues to deal with his own lingering issues, stemming from his past mistakes and the relationships he's damaged, especially with Brook Lynn. His willingness to face his past head-on will be tested as he tries to find a way back into her life. But the scars of abandonment linger, and the fear of rejection could drive Gio to make some rash decisions. The question remains, can Gio prove that he is capable of change, or will he continue to be haunted by his past? His journey toward redemption won't be easy, and the emotional weight of his unresolved feelings for Brook Lynn may prove to be an obstacle he can't easily overcome. Meanwhile, Drew's enemies are beginning to mobilize against him. The undercurrent of animosity that has been simmering for weeks is finally coming to a head, and Drew will soon realize that the battle he faces is much larger than he anticipated. His every move is being watched, and those who oppose him are preparing to strike in more ways than one. While Drew has been successful in some of his ventures, his overconfidence might blind him to the growing threat. As tension escalates, the situation takes a darker turn, with whispers of an impending assassination attempt against Drew. The atmosphere is thick with the possibility of a violent confrontation that could change the course of his life, and those closest to him will soon be thrust into a high-stakes game of survival. As Drew's world starts to unravel, an intriguing mystery begins to take shape. It becomes clear that someone is plotting a murder, and Drew could very well be the intended target. The evidence points toward a carefully orchestrated scheme to take him down, but who is behind the plot? As the mystery unfolds, Drew must decide who he can trust and what he's willing to sacrifice in order to stay alive.